Now we return to Newsline with a closer look at Vietnam's efforts to have the European Commission EC lift its IUU warning. Now authorities are accelerating actions ahead of the EC's inspection scheduled for the end of this year. So Dylan, what step is Vietnam taking to achieve this?
Right. The plan is quite detailed, Quinn, and I'll show you. Now, by November the 15th, 2025, Vietnam aims to address 4 key issues with the goal of having the yellow card lifted by the end of the year. That is requested recently. This request was recently issued by Prime Minister Phạm, Chính. Now, since receiving a yellow card from the European Commission in 2017 over illegal, unreported and unregulated or IUU fishing, Vietnam has consistently worked to meet EC recommendations. The legal framework for fisheries has been comprehensively improved with the 2017 fisheries law. Recently, under notice number 517 by the government office, every Tuesday, the Prime Minister chairs an online meeting with 21 coastal provinces and cities to review the progress and address holdups. Vietnam is entering a peak month in the campaign to have the European Commission's yellow card on Vietnamese seafood lifted. Currently, more than 99% of fishing vessels have installed monitoring systems, and 100% of those setting out to sea are inspected for licenses, monitoring devices, and fishing logs. Local authorities are maintaining around-the-clock supervision and have handled more than 8,300 violations over the past 2 years. And now the European business community is among the partners closely following Vietnam's progress in revoking the IUU yellow card. Right now, we will connect with Mr. Paul-Antoine Croiset, co-chair of Eurocham's Food, Agriculture and Aquaculture Business Sector Committee, to hear their insights and assessments on Vietnam's efforts and commitments on these issues. And so thank you so much for joining us. How do you assess Vietnam's progress in addressing the European Commission's recommendations on combating illegal, unreported and unregulated or IUU fishing in recent years?
So thank you very much for the question. From a European business community perspective, we acknowledge that since receiving the yellow card in 2017, Vietnam has made significant effort and progress to fight against IUU, which is seen in the direction given by the Prime Minister, together with the coordination of the National Steering Committee on IUU fishing. Technically speaking, we can see, for example, in the first 5 months of 2025, according to the Fisheries Directorate data, that the number of vessels losing VMS connectivity for more than 6 hours has decreased by a staggering 82%. Those losing connectivity for more than 10 days have decreased by a staggering 71%, while reporting of vessels illegally present in foreign waters has decreased by almost 77%. So we can see that those efforts to put in place new regulation and to enforce them are paying off. Of course, Eurocham has not been idle in this effort. We have been meeting with the EU Trade Commissioner as well as with the European Commission during our business missions in Brussels. We have been raising that topic to the Vietnamese authorities consistently in the Eurocham White Book as well.
Right, and those are very promising prospects. So if a yellow card is lifted, what opportunities would that open up for Vietnam's seafood trade with the EU market? And conversely, what does Eurocham expect from the Vietnamese government to ensure long-term sustainability in the fishery sector?
I think Vietnam has made significant progress and is on the right track to achieving its goal in more sustainable fisheries. It is a positive development for the fisheries industry in its relationship with the EU market, as it will restore trust with European importers. Beyond trade, it positions Vietnam as a reliable partner. Now, I think to move even further, we would need 3 things from the Vietnamese authorities. One, I would say a streamlined and more efficient legal framework. What we would also need is support and capacity building at the local level. Administrative procedures that could be faster, more efficient and better perceived by the local communities. And of course, we need better coordination between the central and the local level in order to improve even further the enforcement of such regulations. So, if the IUU yellow card is lifted, it's not going to be the end of the road, right? It's going to be the beginning or a step towards better fisheries sector in Vietnam, better trade relation with the European Union, more investment, but also, I would say, a fisheries sector that takes care in Vietnam of the natural resources, the livelihood of the fishermen, and the international development, which is the ultimate goal.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Kwase, for your insights.